On this episode of Axis and Allies Global 1940 Second Edition Tutorial Series, we're going to talk about strategic bombers. These are significantly more useful than tactical bombers in almost every regard. They cost 12 IPCs to build. They can move 6. That's the most movement out of any unit in the game. They attack at a 4, but they defend at a 1. So probably don't leave these in territories by themselves. In addition to that, they can do strategic bombing raids, which means they can attack factories. So they're able to hit minor and major industrial complexes. They can also hit air bases and naval bases, although I'd rather hit the industrial complexes myself. These are quite useful for certain powers and certain circumstances and certain strategies. If you're playing the economic game, I think these can be awesome, especially if you're playing as the Allies. The Allies really like these. Doesn't mean the Axis don't, but they use them generally for different reasons. So let's get into who likes these and who doesn't. Also, the strategic bomber pairs with a destroyer to attack submarines. Probably not going to happen that often, but it is a thing that could happen. Moving on, powers that like strategic bombers. The UK and the United States, obviously, they love doing their strategic bombing campaigns, especially on Germany and Italy. Japan, it's a little bit more difficult to do, but as long as the Soviets don't lose the Far East, they can still do it. The Soviet Union probably doesn't like them. Generally can't afford them. The money's better spent elsewhere. Germany's interesting. Some people really advocate for it. I think there's a strategy called Dark Skies where they build tons of strategic bombers. I don't know if I like that, but it could be neat. Italy's poor, but I would make a lot of use out of the one that they get. Japan likes them, but not to the extent that they want to build more. Australia could make a lot of use out of them. China can't build them. France is irrelevant. But for this video, we're going to talk a little bit more about how and why you should use strategic bombers. Because a lot of people really don't care about strategic bombing in a lot of the other games. In this, it's way better. So the way strategic bombing raid works is, this is pretty early in the turn in your phase. You'll decide which bombers you're going to use and what factories you're going to hit. So let's just say, for the sake of this, we're going to take our strategic bomber from the UK and attack Western Germany. All right? So we move on over there. First thing that happens is Germany gets to use its fighters to try to intercept if they want. If they get a 1, they get a hit. If not, the bomber keeps going. Then the factory will get to roll 1 die per bomber. And if they get a 1, it's a hit. If not, the bomber gets to go ahead and drop its bombs. You'll roll 1 die per bomber. And whatever you roll, you'll add 2 to that die roll per bomber. And that's going to be the overall damage you deal to the factory. So 1 bomber could deal 8 points of damage to a major industrial complex. That's almost stopped it from building units. That can be very useful. Now, odds are they're going to repair it next turn, but that's still forcing them to spend up to 8 IPCs to repair all that damage. That can be awesome. Now, sure, you run the risk of losing your bomber every time, but if you're not doing anything else with it, I really think you should do strategic bombing raids. Another thing is, over here in India, if Japan parks its bombers in like Siam, or if they take the Shan State or Burma, you can bomb India into oblivion. Because each major industrial complex can hold up to 20 points of damage. But once you get above 10, that complex is useless. It can't build anything. And the UK's Pacific economy makes so little money that they might not be able to repair all of the damage, even if they put all their money on it. So you can theoretically stop them from building units entirely allowing Japan to run free in the South Pacific. Japan makes a lot of use out of their 2 strategic bombers. And you can do this pretty much with anyone, but Japan, in this situation, has the best chance. I've also seen it done well as Italy, around here in like Egypt, Iraq, and Persia. If the Italian bomber is based out of like Greece or something, you can really shut down any British factories, or at least slow them down and make them waste money. I'd say strategic bombing paired with convoy disruptions can be devastating over the course of a game if you play it right. And eventually, like, they're just going to stop repairing the damage, or they won't be able to afford it, or they're just not going to be able to build anything there, and that's going to give you an advantage. Especially, like, if Germany doesn't repair their factories in Western Germany or in France, and you go to launch D-Day, it's going to be a lot harder for them to get any units over there because their factory's so far away. Strategic bombers, I think, are really useful. I don't build as many as I probably should for as good as I've been making them seem. But they're extremely useful units.